Mount Everest stands as a colossal pyramid of rock and ice. It pierces the sky in the Mahalangur Himal sub-range of the Himalayas. This great mountain straddles the border between Nepal and Tibet, an autonomous region of China. Its official height, recognized by both Nepal and China, is 8,848.86 meters, or 29,031.7 feet above sea level. This makes it the Earth's highest mountain above sea level, a point closer to the sun than any other land on our planet. The sheer scale of Everest is difficult to comprehend fully. It's a place of extreme cold, powerful winds, and significantly reduced oxygen. The mountain's geology tells a story millions of years in the making. Everest is composed of different layers of rock. The summit itself is made of marine limestone, a surprising fact given its current altitude. This means the rock that forms the highest point on Earth was once at the bottom of an ancient ocean, the Tethys Ocean. The relentless collision of the Indian tectonic plate with the Eurasian plate pushed these rocks upwards. This process, which began around 50 million years ago, is still ongoing. Everest therefore continues to grow, albeit very slowly by a few millimeters each year. The climate on Mount Everest is exceptionally harsh and unforgiving. Temperatures at the summit can plummet to -60 degrees Celsius or -76 degrees Fahrenheit. Even during the warmest part of the climbing season in May, temperatures rarely rise above freezing. The mountain is also battered by the jet stream for much of the year. This brings hurricane-force winds, sometimes exceeding 200 miles per hour. These winds can make climbing impossible and incredibly dangerous. The air pressure at the summit is only about 1/3 of that at sea level, meaning there is roughly 66% less oxygen available to breathe. The geographical features surrounding Everest are equally formidable. The mountain is flanked by other towering peaks, including Lhotse at 8,516 meters and Noptse at 7,861 meters. These create a dramatic and imposing landscape. Glaciers like the Khumbu Glacier carve their way down its slopes. The Khumbu Icefall, located at the head of this glacier, is one of the most dangerous sections of the popular South Col route. It is a constantly shifting maze of seracs, which are large ice towers, and crevasses, which are deep cracks in the ice. Navigating this treacherous terrain requires skill, courage, and a significant amount of luck. For centuries, the local populations of Tibet and Nepal revered Everest, or Chomolungma, meaning Mother Goddess of the World, and Sagarmatha, meaning Goddess of the Sky, respectively, as a sacred place. It was a dwelling of gods, not a peak to be conquered by mortals. The idea of climbing such a formidable and holy mountain was foreign to their cultures. Western interest, however, began to grow in the 19th century after British surveyors identified it as the world's highest peak. This sparked a new kind of ambition, one rooted in exploration, national pride, and the desire to test human limits against the raw power of nature. The early 20th century saw the first organized attempts to climb Mount Everest. Because Nepal was closed to foreigners at the time, these initial expeditions approached the mountain from the Tibetan or north side. The British launched several reconnaissance and full-scale climbing expeditions in the 1920s. These were huge logistical undertakings involving hundreds of porters and large teams of climbers. Figures like George Mallory became synonymous with these early efforts. Mallory, when asked why he wanted to climb Everest, famously replied, "Because it's there." This simple phrase captured the powerful, almost irrational drive that pulled climbers towards the summit. These early expeditions faced immense challenges with relatively primitive equipment compared to today's standards. Their clothing was made of wool and cotton, offering limited protection against extreme cold. Oxygen systems were heavy, unreliable, and experimental. Knowledge of high-altitude physiology was also in its infancy. Climbers battled frostbite, altitude sickness, and the sheer physical exertion of moving at extreme heights. Despite these obstacles, they pushed higher and higher, mapping routes and gaining invaluable experience. The 1922 British expedition saw climbers reach over 8,320 meters, or 27,300 feet, without supplemental oxygen, a remarkable feat for the time. The mystery surrounding the 1924 British Mount Everest expedition, particularly the fate of George Mallory and Andrew Sandy Irvine, became one of mountaineering's most enduring legends. They were last seen going strong for the top high on the northeast ridge. Whether they reached the summit before perishing remains a subject of debate and fascination. Their disappearance underscored the grave dangers of Everest and added to its mystique. These early pioneers, successful or not in reaching the summit, laid the groundwork for future attempts. They demonstrated that humans could, perhaps, survive at such extreme altitudes, even if the price was terribly high. After World War II, Nepal opened its borders to foreign expeditions, shifting the focus to the southern approach. This route, via the Khumbu Icefall, the western Kuyum, the Lhotse Face and the South Col, presented new challenges but also new possibilities. Several expeditions, including a Swiss attempt in 1952 that came tantalizingly close, pushed the boundaries of what was thought achievable. Raymond Lambert and Tenzing Norgay reached about 8,595 meters or 28,199 feet on the southeast ridge, a record height, before being forced to turn back due to exhaustion and lack of supplies. This near success fueled the belief that the summit was within reach.